Do you want to do me a favor? On your phone, on your timer, do you mind just putting 20 minutes?
Sure.
Like, yeah, timer 20 minutes and we'll just hit start.
Ready?
Yeah. And away we go. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Are you good though?
I'm good.
Yeah. How's life like?
Life is amazing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on, but that's amazing.
What's like one of the things going on right now that you're stressed or excited about overall? Like,
So much.
okay.
But I'm choreographing a show for ASU right now, Arizona State University, and it's an hour and a half away, as you know. So you just did the drive. So the schedule, I'm gone a couple days a week. I have a family, so the juggle.
What do you find the most difficult part? Is it balancing life things, work stuff? Like, do you feel like you put your well-being on the back burner for all that kind of stuff? How do you think you navigate all that?
I think the part I wasn't expecting was how much it was going to affect my family. Like I thought it was going to be easy peasy, and my girls are young and they've gotten like way more clingy and they don't want me to go. And I just wasn't expecting that because I've been gone before and like, I feel like they don't even notice, so that's been hard balancing that. And then a lot lands on my husband because he has a full-time job and he's having to take on all the child duties on top of that. So, and then finding time to do the work that I need to have prepared for when I go to rehearsal. So pretty much all of the above. All of it.
When do you find fulfillment, joy, stress? Like, how do you feel like, or make a little bit of all of it through all that, the whole thing?
I am finding so much fulfillment in doing this show because I had my own dance company for 15 years that I shut down before I moved up here. And so this is the first time I'm back like in the theater choreographing, and it's like so fulfilling and invigorating to be back.
School in Arizona State University? Yeah. So
my undergrad and my graduate degree there.
And then did you like the fact that you, I guess, always stayed home?
Well, I always wanted to leave, right? And that was always the plan, to go to LA and dance professionally out there. But I ended up getting really focused on teaching first. And I ended up teaching at high school and teaching at ASU and teaching at the community colleges. And then I started my dance company, and that really grounded me here. And then it made me feel like I don't really need to leave to have a successful professional dance career. I can build it here and make a name for Phoenix and like pour into my own community. So it made me like I had a shift.
You major in dance in both. So then I guess like what was, you said the goal, like to go to Los Angeles and dance, like what was the dream as at one point as when you were little?
When I started college, I was like, I'm going to get my degree as a backup. Then I'm going to LA. But by the time I finished college, I had fallen in love with teaching. And so that's what kind of set me on a different path. And then I danced for the NBA, WNBA teams and stuff like that. So I was getting a lot of fulfillment, professional fulfillment here too. So, but once I started my company, then it was like, oh, this is my dream. I want to do this forever.
So when you finished grad school, you said you danced for like the WNBA teams. Like, what was the first job right after?
That was actually when I was in college.
Okay.
That was back when I was from like 20 to 27. I danced.
Was that the first job you got in dance?
I think that was my first professional.
And do you feel like you made it? Like, how I'm doing it? Like,
yeah, it was awesome.
I would like to dive into that because it's like, dancing for like sports teams, like I think the I'm just gonna speak as a dumb public opinion. Not that many people like really know about like that culture. Like
Right.
it's like usually commercial breaks, so people at home don't really watch that. Is that fair? Or
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's mostly just at the games, but you get a lot of opportunity being a part of those teams.
okay,
So
what did you learn the most from that experience? Because that's like every game, right? There's practices, like,
oh yeah, to be able to pick up choreography and perform it professionally within a day.
and you guys always practicing new things every game, every week?
Like 2 routines a game.
Okay,
So if you have 3 games that week, you're learning 6 routines in 1 week and performing them in front of thousands of people. You'd have to be able to learn fast and like perfect it immediately. And then that was a really good exercise.
and then what did you? And then what's like one like misconception like so public don't understand about that world?
Probably that it's just, I don't know, recreational, whatever. But these dancers train and train and train very,
They
very
take care of their bodies. You're an athlete.
yeah, you're constantly working. You're also doing appearances, so you're not just doing games. You're going to schools. You're doing all sorts of different. I don't know. There's so many different opportunities. Almost a long time ago, but
I guess the question of that is like, how do you feel you've learned to be comfortable with yourself? Like, feel like some people never achieve that. I'll say wishy-washy, like cookie cutters. Like, is that trial and error? Is that a lot of like self-reflection? Is that just like you being proud of the work you do?
I think it's that, but it's also for me comes with my faith. Like and especially the last few years where I've been almost kind of reinventing myself, like closing down my company, I had to, it was a real like dying to self thing because I didn't realize I had so much of my identity and ego wrapped up in my company.
And that you just close it because of like, is that
Well, like 2020 didn't help with any arts organization.
fair enough?
So, and I just had a baby and we lost our residency because of all this stuff. So we didn't have a space. We started doing through video, like putting out videos and stuff like a lot of dance companies did. But I just felt I could feel God doing something in my heart and telling me like that I needed to do this, which was like a shock to me. I was going to do my company for my whole life. Like that was my dream. But when I started to have different desires, I knew, okay, all right, God, what do you got in store? But it took time to really practice and tell myself, Lantrina, like my identity is in Christ. It's not in what I do. It's not in what I do here. It's not in my career. Like I am perfectly and wonderfully made, and He has a plan for me. So just like living in that and telling myself that all the time helped me just be even more comfortable in my own skin. And it's so freeing when you know like you're walking the path you're supposed to be on. You don't have to stress about it.
Is your faith always something that you've carried through your whole entire life? Is like in your childhood? Is like you've always been a like through line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. I was raised a Christian. My parents are really involved in the church. My dad was an executive pastor at a church for a while, and my mom was very involved in ministry. She was even a missionary. I'm like, why is that word not in Turkey for a while?
So do you guys travel a lot?
Like, no. She went on her own and with some people. I never had a chance to go, but I was really young.
Yeah.
So, but it's always been there, and it's always been a through line. But of course, in your life, you go
Up and down.
I had to go explore my own way for a while, or see, do I believe this just because I was taught this when I grow up, or like, do I really believe this? And I went on that path a couple times during my life, where I would go experiment in different ways, but I always came back.
How do you stay, from what I've got gathered so far, is like you're a perfect example of flux and flows, ups and downs. Like, do you let negativity creep in your mind? I mean, self doubt, or is it always? So how do you? I mean, I guess because I struggle with that all the time too. I always forget things are not always black and white. I'm like, okay, can I fix this? And I'm done. But no, it's always this like growth up and down. So like, was that always having faith or dance or something to go to, or was like, did you have like let's say depression? Because I think that gets thrown out like sometimes a little too easily in conversations. But like, I guess how did you like navigate all that? I guess I'm always really asking for myself.
Yeah. I mean, definitely my faith was a huge part of it. I mean, I've definitely gone through some stuff. I went through a really tough divorce when I was like 30, and like I've often been asked to speak to young people about having a career in the arts and what it takes. And one of the things I always say is there have been like 3 distinct times in my life where I have had to start over, and there's like a lot of shame there. And like, right, shame, yeah, for what I've done, right? Like I've messed up. I went down a wrong path.
But who's giving the shame? Is it yourself or
Myself.
yourself? Okay.
Yeah, and I had to kind of prove myself again. And I say that to them because I say like, it doesn't matter how bad you've messed up, you can still rise from that, and you can still
Turn around.
You can still turn it around, because I turned myself around a couple different times of my life.
I guess I don't want to end on a deeper note, but I guess the question is just like, you 5 generations of people in Arizona, Phoenix up here. What's Arizona mean to you? To you?
Arizona's my heart.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a deep question.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's good. Arizona's my heart. My family is here. My friends here. So many things that I've created have been here in this desert. It's like, what life can you bring? There's so much death in the desert. Everything is so dead, right? So how can we, throughout our lives, breathe life into where we live, anywhere? So I feel like my life has been just trying to breathe life into this community, into my students, into my family, and into the world at large. Even like the show that we're working on, it's all about consumerism and climate change, and like, what can we do to be better as humans and treat our world better? So
That's the most profound thing I heard, and I like to end it on that. That's awesome. Thank you.